Another gorgeous night in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Rockies get prepared to take on the Braves in Game 3, the rubber game of this three-game series, as the Rockies prevailed 5-1 last night. A strong pitching effort from Chad Bettis, and they hope to get the same tonight from Johan Flande, who's coming off the best start of his career. Rockies have a tough assignment offensively. They're taking on the ace of the Braves staff, Shelby Miller, the hard luck ace of the Braves staff.
You mean a guy that hasn't won since May 17th or his last 17 starts? Yeah, that's Shelby Miller. They are not scoring any runs for him.
They are not, despite that 2.5 ERA. So Charlie Blackmon, who we were just bragging on, will lead things off after batting third last night. Here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss, and things more back to normal at the top with Jose Reyes in the 2 spot and Cargo back in there. Great to see. So DJ's batting cleanup, then Ben Paulson, Nick Hundley, Daniel Descalso for Nolan Arenado at third base. Nolan's just fine. Walt was looking for a spot to give him a day off, and obviously Brandon Barnes feeling better. He had that stomach ailment yesterday and was a late scratch, so Brandon back in the lineup in left field. Shelby Miller can bring the heat. He has got one of the best right arms in the National League.
Don't be deceived by that 5-10 record. 2.50 ERA. That's good for second or sixth best in the National League. And then at Turner Field, a 2.01 ERA.
And Charlie hits this ball to right field with some authority. Handled out there by Nick Markakis, who has been a tremendous right fielder throughout his career. Here's Atlanta defensively. Johnny Gomes back in there. He's in left field. Cameron Maben is in the middle, and then Markakis. Adonis Garcia, who really had a tough time last night with 3 errors. Andrelton Simmons, he's made 4 the whole year. Think about that. Jace Peterson and Freddie Freeman on the right side. Christian Bethancourt. They really want to give him a good, long, hard look these last 6 weeks to see what they have there with the young kid from Panama. And that's fouled off. 0-2 on Reyes. .83 degrees tonight for first pitch. And most importantly, the humidity's been way down the last few days. Everybody we run into say, man, I don't know what happened, but it turned the heat index off for you guys.
Or they say you should have been here last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard that a lot, too. This is so unusual, the weather here.
It's been
last
beautiful.
week, wait till next week. It's going to come back. I said, well, the 3 days we've been here, it's the best I've ever seen.
That is going to be a base hit, dropping in front of Markakis. So Reyes aboard, his first hit of the series.
Well, we'll flash back to July 10th earlier this year, and then the Rockies really took after Shelby Miller. 5 earned runs, that's a season high. Gave up 11 hits, and then a Cargo said, well, for one more for good measure, I'll take it out to center field.
That was his first and only career hit against Shelby Miller. Remember the first time the Rockies faced Shelby Miller, he threw the almost perfect game. Gave up a hit and then retired 27 in a row. Here's Cargo back in the lineup. He had to leave Monday night in the middle of the ball game with soreness in his right knee. He was available last night, did not play. And he's back in there tonight. Walt had a conversation with him earlier. He thought about giving him another night, so then with the day off tomorrow, he would have, 3 full days of rest before the series opener in Pittsburgh on Friday. But Cargo wanted back in, and I can argue with your 3-hole hitter when he wants to play, and obviously Cargo wants to play every night.
He does, and it's just good to see him back out there, because some guys that say, well, no, I want to take that extra day, so I have tomorrow also. They'll give me 3 days.
That's a rocket up the middle, a base hit. Reyes should go first to third here. So welcome back, Cargo, and the Rockies have something brewing early against Shelby Miller.
Oh, and it's good to see, too, because even that ball that Charlie hit to right field, I thought he hit it pretty well. Now, it did go back towards the warning track, but he squared that one up. Reyes dropped the one in right, and then this one from Cargo right back up the box, allowing Jose to go first to third. And Now the man we were talking about comes to the plate, DJ LeMahieu, hitting in the cleanup spot for the first time in his career as a starter.
And Walt says, fine, yeah, is he a home run guy? No, but he's an RBI guy. 3 last night. He's got 50 on the season. And a chance to add to that here in the first frame against Miller. Showed bunt. Reyes would look to read that if he followed through with it. And I think he was just showing bunt. Rockies have 4 players hitting over 400 against the Braves this year. Barnes, Blackman, Cargo, and DJ LeMahieu. Rockies 5-1 against Atlanta this season. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home plate umpire is Vic Carapazza. Adam Hamari is at first base. Larry Vanover at second. Brian Knight at third. Two and one. Good eye.
Well, for Shelby Miller, it's a fastball. You talked about how hard he throws. Yes, 94, but he will cut it, and he's been throwing the cutter more this year, about 20%. Last year was just at 6%. And then curveball he'll mix in, but usually for a first pitch. Kind of the get me over curveball. He's not looking to strike you out with it.
He's a guy that goes right after people typically.
He's walked 56 batters and 158 in the third inning.
If you can find a power pitcher that doesn't walk people, man, that's impressive. I'll show you guys that wins a lot of games.
The Mets don't walk anybody.
No, all those young guys. They throw strikes. 2-2. And a strikeout of LeMahieu at 95. So there are 2 outs, and Ben Paulson will come up. One of those Atlanta area kids. Ben a home run in the series. Last night he had a sac fly to very deep left field.
Shelby Miller came over from the Cardinals in that trade over the winter in December, where along with Jordan Walden and Jason Hayward went to St. Louis from Atlanta.
That was one of the bigger off-season deals. A couple big names changing zip codes.
Jordan Walden went down with an injury early in the season.
One and two now. Miller trying to work out of a jam. First and third. Reyes a single. Cargo a single. Rockies won last night with just 6 hits. First 4 runs were all unearned. Strike 3 inside corner at 94. So Ben Paulson is a strikeout victim, and Shelby Miller does not allow the Rockies to score despite the threat. produce a run against Shelby Miller, so it's Johan Flande's turn against Atlanta. And, you know, he's going to have a little extra motivation tonight because he was in the Braves organization from 2011 to 2013. Let's take a look at the Braves lineup for Freddie Gonzalez tonight. Nick Markakis will be up top, as he typically is, batting over 300. Followed by a guy who's had a very fine year, Cameron Maybin. Maybin was out of the lineup last night. Freddie Freeman will bat third, struggling since he's come back. Johnny Gomes, Adonis Garcia, Jace Peterson, Christian Bethancourt, and Drelton Simmons and Shelby Miller to face Flande, Huey, he's coming off probably the best start of his career.
A career-high 7 innings pitch for Flande in the game against the Washington Nationals. 5 games as a starter. He's 2-0 with a 3.90 ERA and a 2.43 batting average against. And that game against Washington really mixed up his pitches nicely. Never really settled into a pattern where you could pick it up as a hitter.
Flande misses ball 1 on Markakis. Turner Field has always been a very fair ballpark. We know through their history they've had some outstanding pitching. They've had Hall of Famers with Glavine and now John Smoltz. A lot of other top shelf guys. But this park plays fair. If you hit it well, you'll get rewarded. DJ's got time. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of Johan Flande against the Nationals.
That was Thursday back at Coors Field. He only allowed 3 hits. One of them was a home run by Michael Taylor, and it was a big one. I mean, he hit it pretty deep, but he settled into a rhythm where he's getting the strikeouts, off-balance swings. It could have been a slider. It could have been a change-up. Worked both sides of the plate, in and out. 7 innings of wonderful baseball from Johan.
Cameron Maybin's hitting 12 of his last 13, a 346 average, and he takes a strike. Again, Maybin not involved last night, but in the Braves' victory 5-3 on Monday, Maybin had a single, a double, and a walk, 2 for 4 overall.
Just a scheduled day off for Maybin yesterday. They have a day off tomorrow before the Yankees come to town.
2 balls and a strike. You know, Cameron's from a town, and we talked about this earlier, that he's from Asheville, North Carolina. Darren Holmes is from Asheville, North Carolina, same high school. That just missed. It's a town I want to go to for a couple of reasons. The Rockies, longtime affiliate in the Sally League, is there, and it's a beautiful part of the country. And I was going to ask you, did you ever play in Asheville?
I never played the Sally League.
Okay.
The South Atlantic League. Never played in that.
So have you ever been through Asheville?
No, I have not. You know, the teams, a few teams in North Carolina and down here in Georgia playing in Double-A, but never in Asheville.
It's right in the Smoky Mountains. This is a flip for 1 and on to first, double play. Reyes to Descalso. That's a familiar territory, playing shortstop for Descalso. He's at third tonight. So it's a 6-5-3 double play. We'll go to the second, no score. This is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted herb butter. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Scenes from the College Football Hall of Fame. The Colorado State University Rams helmet on display. Look at that, Cowboy Joe. Easy, Huey.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's fouled off by Nick Hundley. Yeah. Doug Marino, Tavis Strand, bunch of our crew. Charlie Felix took in. Mark Stout was there as well. Took in the College Football Hall of Fame, which is down here in Atlanta. Big fun. Speaking of that, there was a group that had a special trip of their own. That is a fair ball. Punched to right and into that corner. Nick on his way to second, and he'll arrive easily with a double. So a leadoff double for Hundley here in the second.
19th double of the season for Nick. He punches this ball to right field. It's away from him. He lets it travel, get deep, everything you're taught as a hitter.
You can't keep Nick down. Remember the other day he had an 0 for, I think he was 0 for 5. Next ball game came out with 3 hits. Last night he was 0 for 4. Starts tonight out with a base hit. Here's Descalso. I was talking about Walt Weiss. Walt went with Paul Egan's, and a group up to Brian Jones was with him. Went up to Athens early today, or actually yesterday. It was early yesterday. And took in the University of Georgia. Got to meet with Mark Richt. Walt got to hang out with him for a little while. And the first thing Walt said to him, he said, "See this guy right here?" He's talking about Paul, who's a Georgia grad. And he said, "He is the #1 Bulldog fan in America. He's your guy."
And everywhere you go, people go, "Oh, Paul Egan's Georgia."
That's right. That's right.
I was thinking about him yesterday. I saw a hat at the University of Georgia at the golf course we were at. And I was like, first person I thought of was Paul.
Absolutely. Toured the baseball facility up there, which I guess is gorgeous. They just renovated it. Went between the hedges. Had a good time on their visit to Athens. Paul Egan's, the Rockies traveling secretary, one of the original Rockies employees going back to 1992. Eags was smiling ear to ear. 2-1 misses. It's 3-1 with Nick at second base.
Daniel making his 3rd start this year at third base.
See if he can pull the baseball right here and move Nick to third. 3-2.
Tried, but the top hand came off on that swing, and a tough pitch to try to pull. It's away from you. And when you do that, you have to start your swing sooner. And if that top hand comes off, you lose any sort of bat control that you might have.
Ball 4. Nice AB for Descalso. So the Rockies had 2 on in the first inning, did not score. They have 2 on, nobody out here in the second. And you're at the bottom of the lineup. Brandon Barnes studying the signs from Stu Cole. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. And hopefully we'll get some of your thoughts into the ball game tonight.
This might be the most difficult place. You're in the 8th spot in the lineup, but you also have runners at first and second, nobody out. It's a tough spot to hit anyway, but then you have the pitcher behind you.
I don't know if there's any foolproof or strategy that's written in the so-called book here. I'll tell you, at some point a good play would be a bunt toward Adonis Garcia. Not to pick on the young man, but he struggled mightily yesterday.
3 errors, 1 short of an Atlanta Braves record. And it is one of those nights where the ball's going to find you no matter what you do. You're just in a bad place. And twice it was bad for him. But the third time this was probably the easier play that he had, and he missed that one too.
Looked like he got his glove behind his eyeballs there, didn't he?
And that's why when you're coming in, charging a ball, that's the easy one to go pick and have your glove out in front of your eyes. That's why I said, to me, that was the one that he probably made the biggest boo-boo on.
Yeah, Freddie showing faith in him. New day, go back out there. 2-1 on Barnes. Three and 2 on Barnes. So a lot of deep counts early from Shelby Miller. And he'll do this early in games from time to time, and then he'll roll off a bunch of innings where it's 8, 9, 10 pitches, and he's off the field.
Like Julio Teheran the other night.
Yeah, he started slowly, you're right, and then put it in cruise control. 3-2 line drive's got to get down, and it will. And the bases are loaded for Johan Flande. And you have Nick Hundley at third, who runs better than average for a catcher. At second, Descalso, and at first, Barnes. Good at bat for Brandon Barnes.
Really good at bat because he's in a tough spot. It's a 3-2 count. Is he going to throw me the slider? Is it going to be the fastball? What's happening? He rides the fastball in, but Brandon inside out swing. It's like what Nick did. He let the ball get deep to him, and then you pull the hands in. That allows the barrel to stay in the hitting zone a longer period of time.
What do you like here if you're Walt Weiss? How do you want to play this with Flande, bases loaded, nobody out?
I think you might look at bunting, just like that, because I don't want to try to let him swing away. I know he has 3 hits, and those 3 hits are off Max Scherzer. I get that. But the last thing I want is him to put the ball in play, maybe a ball back to the pitcher, and you get a 1-2-3 double play.
That's why some guys would say, you know what, stand there like a statue. We don't care if you strike out. And we'll go with 1 out and a position player. Flande does have the ability to bunt, and he said he may try Adonis Garcia tonight. Let's see if he does do it again. And that is a foul ball. I would think he'll try and do the same exact thing, and he's trying to get it down that third base line, or at the very least the third base side. The other thing about Flande that you should know, and if you've watched Rockies baseball, unlike a lot of pitchers, and a manager will never get mad if a starting pitcher kind of just jogs it up the line. They want to save their energy. Johan Flande doesn't do that. Johan runs hard, and in this situation it could be key, because if he does end up getting this bunt in play and it goes right back to Miller, to avoid the double play.
You have to, if you're Johan, run hard.
He does.
At least he does it all the time.
He does it all the time. Yeah. He's swinging, and well, that sounded weird. I almost thought it was catcher's interference.
No, it went off the catcher's mask.
Is that what that was?
That's what it was. This glove was close to the bat, but it went off the top of the helmet of Bethencourt.
Strike 3. So that's the first out. Flande is gone. 3 strikeouts for Shelby Miller. Now here comes Charlie Blackmon, who had good contact his first time up and flying out to fairly deep right field.
But if you're going to say a strikeout's okay, that one was.
Sure.
You're not going to hear that be uttered too often in a broadcast.
I'll say this about Yohan. He really doesn't have a pretty swing. Kind of ugly, to be honest.
Yes.
But he competes.
He'll battle you.
He does. Bases loaded for Blackman, scoreless in the second. And misses. Hundley got this thing started with a double. Back up the middle, redirected. It's going to turn into a double play that ends the inning. Tough break. It went off Shelby Miller. Otherwise, that may have gone up the middle and played it a couple of runs. The Rockies load them up. They fail to score. In for the first time tonight with Mark Stout. Mark, how you doing?
Thank you, Drew. This is the brand new College Football Hall of Fame. It's in downtown Atlanta, not far from Turner Field. Here's the Service Academy's exhibit. Of course, we've got Mountain West football here on Root Sports. Air Force is our first game, and their head coach, Troy Calhoun, he is a big baseball fan.
I always try to take 5 or 6 days where we go watch some baseball. Last year we went to the Bay Area. We saw the A's, and A's play one day. The next night it was the Giants and the Dodgers. This year it was to Philadelphia. We wanted to see that park. Then the next night was Yankee Stadium to see the Orioles and the Yankees. And then 2 nights later were the Mets and Clayton Kershaw on the hill for the Dodgers, and he's perfect through 6. And then we concluded on Saturday at Fenway Park with the Red Sox and the Tigers. It's a pretty good week right there.
First Mountain West game of the year, September the 5th. At the Academy in Colorado Springs. Air Force hosting Morgan State. 1:30 Mountain Time kickoff on September the 5th. Mark that down. Let's go back to Drew and Jeff.
Mark, thank you. And Troy Calhoun's been up in the booth with us pretty much on an annual basis the last several years. He legitimately is a huge baseball fan and a big Rockies supporter as well.
You can tell by the amount of games that he goes to and where he goes, some of the big names, but also the smaller ballparks. It's baseball. That's what you do in the summertime.
That's right.
I remember as a kid, we used to go over, I grew up in Arizona. We didn't have a pro team, but we'd go to California, and we'd plan our vacations around it.
2-2 on Johnny Gomes inside. 3-2. Looked like Johan Flande thought he had the strikeout.
No, he was walking away. It's not a strike on the 4th strike zone. surprised if Vic raises his arm behind. I
don't know if Gomes said something to him. It almost looked like he did. That's off the plate. Gomes kind of staring him down.
He is eyeballing him, yeah.
See if that continues.
They went inside and then outside to Gomes, and this is a show in talking to him. There was some fireworks in the game last night between Houston and the Yankees.
It was 15-1. Carlos Gomez was in the middle of it. And Carlos has some showmanship to him, shall we say.
It's a polite way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, he has drawn the ire of the opposition in the past. He's also a hard-playing guy who you probably want on your side. He's pretty gifted. Here's the 1-0, and a huge swing and a miss from Adonis Garcia. Johnny Gomes, a part-time player, but with his experience and the way he goes about things, you talk to people with the Braves, say, well, who's the leader of the clubhouse? They all say Johnny Gomes.
Might be some clubs calling here in the next 2 or 3 days for his services.
Well, pinch hit late in the ball game, produce some pop.
So wait, wait a second. Wasn't the trade deadline July 31st? Well, that was a non-waiver trade deadline.
Deals can still be done. Hey, with every challenge call, a Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. One characteristic of Johan Flande, he's walked 2 of the first 4 hitters tonight. 2-1 on Garcia. And that's a base hit.
Garcia ahead in the count. Rips a single to left. Quick bat speed. Be up to Johan to start working ahead. Had the traffic in the first, threw a cut fastball to Freddie Freeman under the hands, got the double play. Try the same thing with Peterson.
Peterson lays down the bunt. It's a beauty. Descalso, with a little help from Ben Paulson, gets the out. A sac bunt by Peterson. Gomes to third, Garcia to second.
Well, with a youngster that's been struggling like Peterson, a chance for him to just get the sacrifice bunt down, and he did. Squares around, lays it down. And Daniel had to barehand that and get rid of it in a hurry. Had more of a changeup grip, buried it, but with some help from Ben Paulson at first, was able to pick it and get the out.
Christian Bethancourt at the plate, hitting a .190 with a home run and 9 driven in. And that's on one hop to Reyes. He's got a long throw and he'll get the out, but a run scores. The 10th RBI for Bethancourt, and Atlanta leads it 1-0. Lead-off walk. How often we say it. Gomes comes around. 2 outs, and Andrelton Simmons will come up.
Going to put Simmons on.
Well, early in the game, a lot of times you'll see teams pitch around the 8-hole hitter, see if they can induce him to swing it. Borderline pitches. Walt doesn't even want to mess around with that. He'd rather pitch to Shelby Miller, get off the field hopefully, and don't worry risk any more damage.
Yeah, don't worry about flipping the lineup over, because Shelby Miller's 3 for 42 in 071 versus Simmons 264.
have 4 hits, no runs. The Braves have 1 hit, but they have scored a run. There's a strike. Leadoff man gets on via walk. He scores 38% of the time. That's what's happened here in the second inning for Atlanta. 0-2 on Miller. And strike 3 on Shelby Miller. So the Braves get the first run. We'll go to the third, and the Rockies will have Jose Reyes to lead things off, and then Cargo. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Reyes, Gonzalez, LeMahieu in the third against Shelby Miller. Rockies had first and third, 1 out in the first, did not score. They loaded the bases with nobody out, and Flande up in the second and did not score. Strikeout to Johan Flande, and then Charlie Blackmon hit the ball hard, but it veered off of Shelby Miller right to Jace Peterson. And he started a 1-4-6-3 double play. Actually, it was theoretically started when it deflected off of Shelby Miller. Breaking ball misses, 1-0 on Reyes. That's on the ground to the second baseman Peterson, who makes a nice play.
Pretty smooth play from the rookie Peterson. Shelby Miller is trying to break a streak of 17 games, 17 consecutive starts without a win. So Jojo Reyes, yeah, he was a former Atlanta Brave. Not much run support. In 12 of the 17 starts, they've scored 1 run or fewer for Shelby.
Well, there have been 89 streaks of 17-plus starts without a win since 1914. Miller's ERA during that stretch of 3.11 is the second lowest. Rube Shower lost 19 straight. Between 1915 and 1917, he had an ERA at 2.98. That was a dead ball era. 1-0 on Cargo. 2-0 on Cargo. He had a sharp single up the middle in the first inning. First run support in the big league, Shelby Miller. Not a list you want to be on. And how about Jake Odorizzi? He's also a guy with big time talent, but they're not scoring runs for him. Lance Lynn.
Big free agent signed John Lester for the Cubs.
2-1. And that's inside. 3-1 on Cargo. And amazing. Cargo trailing. He's tied with Nolan Arenado in home runs with 30, trailing Bryce Harper by just 1. He could end up very easily leading the National League in home runs, and when June started, he had 4. Played 2 months of baseball, he had 4 home runs.
He might lead just from his home runs from June 1st.
Possible, right? What he's done since the 5th of July. Here's the 3-2. And a strikeout for Miller. That's his 4th. DJ LeMahieu with 2 outs. Who wants tacos? When the Rockies score 7 runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. DJ struck out with runners at first and third against Miller on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he hits it on the ground to Peterson. Quick and efficient inning in the third for Miller. 1-0 Atlanta. Mark Staff on the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, and plenty more at abqisotopes.com. Albuquerque Isotopes, the proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Top of the order, Nick Markakis. Cameron Maben, Freddie Freeman. Markakis hit a ground ball to second. First time up against Flande, and that pitch misses outside from Johan.
Christian Adames has a 10-game hitting streak for the Isotopes.
Solid player.
Yeah, Tommy Murphy homered 2 out of his last 3 games.
Tommy Murphy is listed as one of the top 10 catching prospects in baseball by MLB.com. The Rockies has several position players on that list.
7 position players in the top 100 ranked by MLB.com.
Brendan Rodgers is listed on the top shortstops. This ball's up the middle of base hit. That doesn't even include Trevor Story. Forrest Wall is listed as one of the top 10 second basemen. Ryan McMahon is listed as one of the top 10 third basemen.
Nick Rack, who they just drafted. Jeff Hoffman, who they received in the trade from Troy. They're also tied with Boston for the most prospects in the top 100 at 7. And before the season, they weren't ranked in the top 10.
No.
That tells you how far and how fast they've climbed in 3 months.
Well, 3 guys are new to the organization. Rodgers and Korak came out of the draft. And Jeff Hoffman came in the trade. Hoffman pitched again the other day, went 5 innings, couple runs, threw the ball well. It was 3 strikeouts and a walk. Jesus Tinoco continues to throw the ball very well. Strike.
Just not the same control tonight for Johan that he had last Thursday. More balls and strikes tonight.
Not going to be hit hard enough, I don't think, to turn 2. Will it? Yes! Wow! The way Cameron Maben runs, you didn't think that ball would turn into a 6-4-3 double play, but Reyes got rid of it quickly, and then DJ's left side infield arm helped out there.
And I'll tell you why this was turned, because of Jose Reyes. So he's back behind it. As soon as he catches it, his momentum is going to go right towards DJ, and that helps close the distance down for DJ, and also helps with the momentum of the ball getting to him quicker. That's just years and years of taking ground balls. They haven't worked long together, but as a shortstop and a second baseman, you kind of have this feel. You know when you have to get rid of a ball because of how quick the guy is running down the line. And Jose gave it to DJ in time so he could make the quick transfer.
2-0 on Freeman. 2-1. Another minor leaguer who continues to impress for the Rockies, Antonio Senzatella. He went 7 innings yesterday. Another quality start. He's now 9-7, but listen to the ERA, 2.47 in 142 innings, and he's got great command. Jensen Park from UNC for
still throwing out hits.
Yeah, he got moved to Boise. He was 3 for 5 with 2 doubles. Ball 4. Flandes now walked 3. Really unlike Johan.
Ties his season high with 3 walks. Well, individual game day suites and party facilities are still available for the regular season. Call 303 Rockies to check availability today.
Johnny Gomes walked last inning leading off and came around to score on the base hit, or excuse me, on the RBI ground out by Bethancourt.
First at bat for Gomes. Johan thought he had struck Gomes out. He's barking to him, get back up on the mound. And then he walks, drops his left arm shield and the bat. And Johan wasn't trying to show him up. He just thought he had struck him out, was waiting for the ball to come back from being thrown around.
I think Walt said it before the game, Jeff, that a reporter asked Walt about Johan's motivation playing against Atlanta because he never got an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues here. And he said he doesn't have a nasty bone in his body, but I'm sure he has, like anybody would.
Big competitive streak.
Yeah, competitive side. You want to do well against your former organization.
And that's the way you do it. You go back and strike him out.
And that's what he did. Leaves his stuff at home plate. A hit and a walk. One man left. Atlanta up 1-0 as we go to the fourth. Days for big, strong Evan Gattis. Here's the American League playoff picture. Jays now in front by a game and a half over the Yankees. The Royals way out in front. They've run away in the American League Central. Do you see that Pacoda thing at the start of the year? They had the Royals winning 72 games.
Yes.
72 games. Mike Swanson of the great Mike Swanson. He used to be the PR director of the Rockies, then on to Arizona. He's been with the Royals for several years now. He includes that lately in his notes. They're 5 games better than that with a month and change left in the season. Astros are 5 games up in the West, and there's that wild card race.
Texas has now jumped a few teams, and they're behind the Yankees.
Angels just a half game back. The Twins are still in there.
Still hanging on.
It'll be interesting. Paulson, a strikeout victim. That's number 5 for Shelby Miller. And Nick Hundley coming up. Nick double to right field, leading off the second. Rockies opportunities in the first couple of innings, and you always worry when you don't take advantage of opportunities, especially against a high-quality pitcher like Miller, because then you wonder, is he going to now turn the tables and get on one of those rolls where, you know, reels off 10 or 11 in a row without being scathed?
Or a guy that hasn't won in 17 tries, you get out to an early lead. His thought might be, oh, here we go again.
Oh, 1 on Nick. Jace Peterson, boy, the wind must have grabbed that.
If the wind started to blow about a half hour ago like it did last night, from left to right, just looking at the flags above the stadium, they are really whipping now, and that'll take that ball where he thought he had a relatively easy play on it to a more difficult one. Right now he's saying, I've got it, uh-oh, that wind's taking it.
Daniel Descalso at the plate. Daniel walked on a 3-2 pitch in the second. Huey mentioned earlier making his third start at third base. He has 19 starts at shortstop, 2 starts at first, 6 starts at second. And when he starts, no matter what position, check this out. The Rockies are 19-10. The magic bullet, huh?
It doesn't matter where you play him. He'll be ready whenever his name's put on the lineup card.
Left field, pretty deep, left center, and Gomes bails out at the last moment. Maben makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning again for Miller. That's 2 in a row, and he's retired 9 straight. To face Johan Blonde here in the fourth. Let's check in again with Mark Stout. Mark?
Hi, Joy. I went into the clubhouse today, and I had kind of a unique question about the Rockies starting pitcher, about how competitive he is, and Charlie Blackmon gave me the best answer about him.
Johan Blonde gives nobody any credit. I'll tell you that much. He pitches everybody however he feels like pitching them. Not because of who they are, because of he just pitches to his strengths.
So, George, if I kind of said, is he uniquely competitive? Is that a good trait? And, you know, even Walt said, yeah, it's an endearing thing. He doesn't really care. He goes out there. He's not scared. He's just going to take everybody on.
Diving attempt by Reyes, and Garcia is now 2 for 2. Well, you said it right at the end, Mark, because I was going to simplify and shorten up what Charlie said in his statement about Johan Blonde. Very simply, he is not afraid.
Nor should he be. I mean, when you get out on a baseball field, some guys are going to be bigger than you, some guys are going to be smaller than you, but you've got to feel like you have everything that you need to go out there and compete and be better than the other guy. And I think that's what Johan does. And he's also pitching against a team that he pitched for before.
Descalso, great play. Wow. Nick Hundley went and covered the bag just in case.
Now this will go down as a sac bunt for Jace Peterson, but he was trying to get a base hit out of this one.
Yes, he was. But it was a terrific play by Descalso.
2 plays he had to come in and bare hand on bunts for Peterson. This one harder than the first. You see how late Peterson squared around? Daniel coming in, catching it on the target to Ben at first. Nolan should like that because he's made plenty of those in his career.
Christian Bethancourt, he doesn't know what to do with himself tonight, does he?
Nolan?
Yeah.
No.
Bethancourt, an RBI ground out to deep short to plate the only run in this ball game. That happened in the second inning. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Rockies no runs, 4 hits. A run on 3 hits for Atlanta. Change speeds there, and it's an 0-2 count. Flande 68-58 in his minor league career that spanned 10 years. Including time, obviously, this year in the minor leagues at 2 different levels, New Britain and also Albuquerque, at 3.87 minor league ERA.
And with the Braves, he was 23-27 in his career. 2 years mainly at Gwinnett. The other year was up and down between AA and AAA.
Strike 3. It's an example of what you've said many times and probably felt at different times in your career. And you hear it all the time in baseball. You're not just competing for your club, you're competing for 29 other clubs. And in the case of Flande, his opportunity at the big league level, as you see the change up there, his opportunity at the big league level didn't come with Atlanta. It ultimately came with the Rockies.
And I'm counting 13, 14 scouts behind home plate right now from different organizations that are doing the same thing. They're checking on, they're doing their pro coverage now. Some of them are amateur scouts, but now they're pro scouts after the draft. They'll go out, they'll take 3 or 4 different clubs just for trades, 6-year free agent, minor league free agents, doesn't matter. I don't think you realize that until after you've been in the game for a couple years, that you're also playing now for yourself and whatever help happens, and all these scouts who come each and every night.
Yeah, I like what Walt's doing here. Again, he's passing on Simmons with 2 outs to face the pitcher Shelby Miller, rather than think ahead to next inning and say, well, if we get Simmons out, we have a bonus of the pitcher leading off the next inning. If you think about it, and it's done a lot in baseball, especially early in games, where you'll try to get that guy out and pitch carefully and that sort of thing, and sometimes it backfires. But what do you hear all coaches or managers say in every sport? We can't worry about tomorrow. We have to win today. We have to worry about what's in front of us today. We can't worry about tomorrow or next week in football. Yet, if you think about it at a smaller level, the microcosm of that would be, well, why, if you're worried about right now and not next inning, why not pass on the more accomplished hitter and try to get that 3rd out with a much lesser hitter?
And that's what
not worry about the next inning.
And that's what Walt's doing. He say, I'm down by 1 run, that's it, to Shelby Miller. The second part of that equation is Johan Flande is more like a 5 to 6 inning pitcher. So if you can get a couple more innings out of him, you're right what you're going to do anyway.
And the other thing, when the pitch count flashes up there and you see 60 pitches, in the mind of Steve Foster and Walt Weiss, he's thrown 52 pitches.
Because of the 8 intentional walks.
Right.
Or, the 2 intentional walks, the 8 pitches during that time.
2 and 2 on Miller. And sometimes there's some situations where if you have a lead or the guy you're facing is more back of the rotation, you may say, okay, listen, we're going to try to get after the 8-hole hitter here and intentionally pass on him. But with a guy like Shelby Miller as your opposition, give many more opportunities to score. Nice job by Flande. 1-0 as we go to the 5th. You want, and good looks too. Ford Go Further by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. On a splendid evening in Atlanta, Georgia, the Rockies concluding their 3-game set against the Braves. Drew Goodman and Jeff Houston upstairs. Mark Stout working the ballpark. Last time the Rockies will see Atlanta this year. It's on to Pittsburgh after the ball game. Tomorrow's the day off. Then they'll open up a 3-game set against Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates on Friday. Brandon Barnes hitting 8th. He had a base hit his first time up, and he swings and misses against Shelby Miller here. Miller has retired 8 in a row. Got that 1-4-6-3 double play. Off the bat of Charlie Blackmon with the bases loaded. And this is popped up in foul ground. Freeman coming quickly, and the wind. He didn't catch that, did he?
No, he did not.
The wind helped out because I think initially that was going to be in play. Gusted pretty strong from left to right.
And you also have the sky right now where that dusk, tougher to pick up the baseball. Freddie reaches over that low railing.
Just missed with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Two and two. Shelby Miller with that cutter gets another strikeout. That's his 6th. Well, it's first responders night at the ballpark here tonight, and there's an outstanding first responder by the name of Mitch Miller. He is a firefighter in Brownwood, Texas. He's also the father of Shelby Miller. Shelby's got his dad here tonight. There's a bunt attempt by Flande, and Miller will get the out at first. Running hard the whole way is Flande. 2 outs. That'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Time now for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving stat. Charlie Blackmon feeling right at home here in Atlanta. 25 career games. First 17, maybe pressed a little bit. The last 7, wow, 5-16, couple home runs. And 8 driven in. And Charlie tonight 0 for 2 against Shelby Miller. So he's hit the ball hard twice. Come up with 2 outs and nobody on. All right, who do you think's the most famous person ever to come out of Brownwood, Texas, which is right in the middle of the state of Texas? You give up?
Yeah, I give up because there's so many different routes I could take with that.
I know.
Are you talking about acting or singing or
an actor?
I
give
still
up?
don't know.
Wow. I gave you such a short list, you couldn't come up with anybody.
No.
Bob Denver.
Oh, Gilligan.
Chase Peterson makes the catch. That's 11 in a row, set down by Shelby Miller. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Pitching, Johan Flande has been very good once again. He's had a few walks, which is unlike him. Shelby Miller, 6 strikeouts in the game. Rockies had opportunities in the first and second, and now he's really turned things up a notch. He's retired 11 in a row. 1-0 Atlanta, Nick Markakis in the 5th inning. And the 1-0's in there, 1-1. Two and 1 on Markakis. Pulled foul.
Markakis has really sprayed the ball all over the ballpark. You got to just play him straight up.
That's bounced right in the middle of the diamond. Reyes with a pretty play. Nice job, Jose Reyes.
Markakis just chops this over the head of Flande. After the first couple steps as a shortstop, you know you have a chance to get this, but then how do you throw it? Do you try to really wing it over there or just throw it on the run? And Jose chooses the latter, just throwing off the run, but you have to play for the way you're running, the first baseman. He put it right in the glove of Ben Paulson.
Cameron Maben swings over the top of that changeup. It's 0-1. Maben a walk and a 6-4-3 double play. Cameron's hit much better at home. 326 here at Turner Field. 241 out on the road. 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1. Rockies snapped that 4-game losing streak with their 5-1 victory last night, trying to win consecutive ball games in Atlanta for the first time since 2002. Mind-boggling, isn't it?
Last series win here was the 5th. Excuse me, 2005, September of 2005.
And that wasn't that far removed from Walt playing for the Braves.
Walt played here in 1998 through 2000, 20 postseason games with Atlanta.
Rocks have only won 2 series ever in Atlanta, 97 and 2005. 2 outs. I'll bring up Freddie Freeman. All-time win percentage against any opponent in the history of the game with at least 150 encounters. The Braves own the best winning percentage ever against the Rockies, 115 and 69. And if you go back to 1993, the Rockies played the Braves 13 times, went 0-13. Did not beat the Atlanta Braves. They were both in the NL West together. Didn't win a game against the Braves their inaugural season, and then 2 years later they're playing them in the postseason.
Still hard to fathom how the Atlanta Braves were in the National League West.
Yeah, that geographically didn't make a whole lot of sense, did it?
Geography was never one of my strong suits, but I can tell you this: I wouldn't have had them in the West. I could have figured out a way to put them in the East.
You would have figured that out.
Yes.
Huh? One and 2 on Freeman. The problem was there weren't as many teams, and Atlanta, they were the furthest team to the west. I mean, we could have put Pittsburgh out there, I guess, right? The Cubs, in theory, the Cubs would have been closer.
Been a closer,
yeah,
better fit.
Dougie just handed me a note, which I was aware of. 3-2. So the Rockies joined the big leagues in 1993. The highest altitude in the game was Atlanta. And DJ is there. He's got to gather himself. 3 ground outs in the 5th inning for Johan Flande. He's doing his part. He's allowed just 1 run. Rockies have to get after Miller. Mets have a 5.5 game lead on the Nationals. Nationals have actually played better. They've won 5 of 7. But the Mets continue to win behind great pitching and an offense that has been among the best in baseball the last month. Braves are in 3rd place, but the 3 teams behind the Mets and Nationals are like 8 runs below them on the ladder.
Mets are beating the Phillies again, 3-0 in Philadelphia in the 5th inning.
This ball on one hop hit to Jace Peterson, and he gets Jose Reyes. That is 12 retired in a row by Shelby Miller, with Cargo coming up.
The Rockies will be back in town, and it'll also give you a chance to go to the rooftop. It's a place to be during baseball season. Arrive early for pregame festivities and beer specials before first pitch. And home to start a homestand on Monday.
Cargo, a sharp single up the middle, and he got ahead in the count 3-1 against Miller. Ended up striking out on a fastball. Curveball's a good one. And it's 0-1.
And that was the get me over first pitch curveball that he likes to throw. And he comes back with cut fastballs and hard sliders.
Way outside, 2-1. Miller, originally the 19th pick in the draft by the Cardinals in 2009. Another curveball. 2-2.
He threw 4 no-hitters in high school, including 3 consecutive ones during the high school playoffs in the state of Texas.
Got him with a changeup at 87. He's on the kind of roll right now that we witnessed when he wore a Cardinals uniform the first time the Rockies saw Miller.
Kind of able to throw whatever pitch he wants in any count. Throw a changeup. He's got 2 different changeups. One's a split finger, the other's a circle change.
13 in a row. LeMahieu a strikeout and a ground ball to second.
Pretty violent finish for Shelby Miller. When he lets go of that ball, he really follows through and falls over hard.
This ball walloped to left center field, and Maben lays out. Maben with a fine play in left center field. 14 in a row set down by Shelby Miller, who will wait for Cameron Maben and give him a high five. 1-0 Atlanta, middle of 6.
by some great defense last half inning. Look at how far Cameron Maben has to go way over there to catch this ball off the bat of DJ LeMahieu. I mean, he takes off and then lays out like Superman. They were playing the Superman theme as he was coming off the field. Cameron Maben's doing this for a long time, and Shelby Miller's pretty excited about that catch, and rightfully so. He robbed a hit from DJ. 11 ground ball outs for Johan Flande. 4 strikeouts. Still in the ball game, still keeping his ball club close.
So Johnny Gomes here in the 6th, Adonis Garcia and Jace Peterson. And Gomes bounces this one foul. A walk and a strikeout for Gomes. Johnny, originally an 18th round pick of Tampa Bay Rays back in 2001. So long ago they were the Devil Rays back then, Huey.
I remember that. That's when I was playing against them, the Devil Rays.
1-2. Well, 20 or more home runs in a season 3 different times. 18 or more. Or 17 or more 6 different times. 1-2, and the minute I say that, he just hit another one. Second of the series for Johnny Gomes, and he makes it 2-0 Atlanta.
The 2 home runs he's hit in the series have both been no doubt home runs. Slider, and he knew it as soon as he hit it. He didn't even finish his swing. I mean, he hit that ball and maybe went another foot on that swing and just stopped.
Chase Utley'd it.
Yes, great comparison. Just notice the follow through. We know it's a home run, but you see that? About 3/4 of a swing, and then he stopped.
This ball is well struck to right. Wind's got it. It's going to go out. That was a wind-blown home run if I've ever seen one. Adonis Garcia, 3 for 3 tonight after the very difficult night offensively and defensively last night. Back-to-back home runs, 3-0 Atlanta.
Gomes and Garcia hit home runs on Monday night. And now tonight, they followed suit again. Pitch up and away from Garcia. He got caught up in that jet stream and went 5 rows deep.
Third time this year the Braves have gone back-to-back. First time since July 1st when Pierzynski and Uribe went back-to-back. The only other time it happened was in April when Freddie Freeman and A.J. Pierzynski went back-to-back.
Simon Castro is now up and throwing in the Rockies pen.
Still nobody out. Jace Peterson takes ball 1. There's a look at Castro. Garrett Holmes behind him. Here's the 1-0. Change up for a strike. Fouled off. 2-2 on Peterson. 2 sack bunts tonight for Peterson. This ball is well hit to center field. Going back is Blackman, and it's going to take one hop and go over the wall. A ground rule double. Previous inning, a 1-2-3 inning for Flande, Jeff. Markakis a ground ball, Maben a ground ball, Freeman a ground ball. This inning, everything's been hit in the air with authority.
Balls have been up. The 1-2 Garcia, and now this pitch to Peterson. I mean, that's what you're looking for if you're a hitter. Give me something that I can drive. And that's what he got from Johan. Smart move from Nick to go out and talk to Johan to buy a couple extra pitches for Castro, but by the time he gets back, Walt's already made the move. He's going to the bullpen.
Now 5 good innings and then a real rough 6th inning, and Flande seemed like he was cruising along. Is gone without retiring a batter in the 6th. Back-to-back home runs, and then the long ground rule double. 3-0 Braves. The Rangers 5 back and the Angels 5.5 back, so not way out in front. Could be interesting down the stretch here in Atlanta. It was a 1-0 game, and then Johnny Gomes and Adonis Garcia went back-to-back. Jace Peterson doubled, and that chased Johan Flande. So for the second time, the Rockies will call on Simon Castro through 2 scoreless innings in his first outing Sunday against the Mets. Coming off Tommy John surgery. He's a very nice story. Here he is in the big leagues.
Well, I missed all of the 2014 season because of that Tommy John surgery. Signed with the Rockies back on April 22nd after becoming a free agent. A lot of hard work, diligence. Now he's been rewarded with a trip to the major leagues.
And his first pitch, a strike on Christian Bethancourt. talked about it earlier. The Braves are giving Bethancourt a long look here in the final 6 weeks behind the plate, which is all well and good. This is where the game's sometimes unfair. They have A.J. Pierzynski, and again, A.J.'s on the 18th fairway of his career. He's had a terrific career. But if you had to pick a team MVP, A.J. Pierzynski probably get plenty of votes, and yet he's going to probably watch more frequently than play because they're trying to turn a page here and see what they have in Bethancourt.
Yeah, I know A.J. He's got a big fan in his manager, Freddie Gonzalez, because of what he's done with some of these young pitchers. They're trying to develop those guys, but you also have to look towards the future, not just next year, but 2017 when they move into their new ballpark.
Well, you and I were talking to John Hart last night, and John's cleared some money, not necessarily next year with picking up Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne, but going into 17 and 18, they are not going to have many onerous contracts at all. We'll see how active they are in the free agent market. They have some young players coming up. They hope to hit the ground running in that new ballpark in 2017. Fouled off 3-2. There's John Hart. Did such a marvelous job in Cleveland with Dan O'Dowd as his right-hand man. Then he went into the television business for a long time, and John now is running things here in Atlanta.
Well, also working with John Shearholtz, who's the president.
John Shearholtz and John Hart, two of the most respected guys in the game. This is fouled off. John Shearholtz, Bobby Cox running things from the dugout after he was the general manager here. That turned out to be a pretty good tandem.
For a long time.
Aided, of course, by the presence of Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox. A good portion of the 14 straight division titles. There's a strikeout. Castro comes back and fans Bethancourt. 1 out.
The Super Suites Conference Center, Coors Field, that's available for your game day or non-game day meeting. Group of 25 to 200 will enjoy the views of the city as well as the field from this unique meeting place.
Fastball at 91's outside to Andrelton Simmons. First time Simmons actually could look at a pitch seriously.
Or had to tighten the batting gloves up.
Yeah. He was intentionally walked his first 2 times up. Simmons out of Curacao.
Had some luck with players out of Curacao.
Andrew Jones was a pretty good player out of Curacao.
He holds the record for outfield assists for the Braves. He had 21 season.
3-0. Tell you another guy they had success with from Curacao. He's now in the Rockies organization, Jair Jurgens.
Andrew Jones is 5th on the Atlanta's home run list. 368.
Whether it's intentional or unintentional, as the last case was, Simmons is at first base with a walk. First and second, 1 out. Shelby Miller at the plate. On this date, 1995, Greg Maddux notched his 16th straight road victory to tie a major league record. He finished with 18 road wins that year, the professor. All 3 of those guys in the Hall of Fame.
Talking about carving up hitters.
One to 0 on Miller, who struck out twice against Flande. So Maddox, 194 wins in a Braves uniform. Glavine, 244 wins in a Braves uniform. Smoltz, 210 wins and 154 saves in a Braves uni. Paulson lobs to LeMahieu. 2 outs, runners at second and third.
I always said John Smoltz had one of the filthiest sliders that I ever had to try to hit.
Glavine was left-handed, so I'm just going to guess and say that for you, Glavine was the toughest. Is that the case?
That's pretty accurate. I did have one base hit off of him in Montreal early in my career, my rookie season. Closed my eyes and swung and hit it right down the third base line.
It's never advisable. Keep your eyes open next time.
Too late to tell me now.
That ship has sailed.
A long time ago.
1-0 on Markakis. 1 for 3, a single in the third inning for Markakis. This is huge here for Castro. The Rockies already down 3-0. We understand what kind of ball game Shelby Miller is throwing. Base hit could make it 5-0 and make it very, very difficult, as if it isn't already.
Well, and for that man there, 3 runs has to feel like 10.
He's trying to snap a 17-game winless stretch, in which he's had an ERA of 3.11. The club is 3-14 during that stretch. Now, sometimes you really can't attach a ton of significance to a pitcher's 1-loss record in this day and age, where pitchers don't typically throw 8 or 9 innings. A walk to load the bases. Now bring up Cameron Maybin. Here comes Steve Foster.
Goes half and half. Half talk, half how they're going to go after Cameron Maybin. The difference now this year with Maybin in the past, you see the runners at third base, Peterson, second base, Simmons, and first base, Markakis. His scouting report's different. Used to be able to just throw him off-speed slider, slider, slider. He'd get himself out. And now he's a different hitter this year than he has been in years past.
.278 average coming into tonight. It's the 0-1 from Simon Castro.
And that was the pitch that he used to swing at.
He's identifying it earlier.
The slider. He would swing it, no matter how many times you threw it, he still thought he could hit it.
On the ground to Reyes. He'll go to LeMahieu to end the inning. It started with a home run from Gomes, followed up by a home run from Adonis Garcia. 3-0 Atlanta. To the 7th we go.
John Shearolds, Bobby Cox, having good people around you. Well, that's what Freddie Gonzalez and Walt Weiss have in Renee Latchman. They both go back with Latch. Give a listen to Freddie.
Latch has gone through the managerial thing, and Latch was in Florida when I was a young coach, and I remember even, the way he treated the young minor league coaches coming up, and the way he took care of them, and I've carried some of that myself, when we go to spring training with the young coaches and that kind of stuff.
Watching Ben Paulson step in, that's a ball. Freddie goes back to his first year with the Marlins with the Brevard County Manatees. I took this photo and tweeted it. It's a Toyota Talk photo of Latch. This was yesterday at the park. Somebody handed him a Marlins program, I'm assuming with his picture on it. Does he have the same toothpick in his mouth as he did when he was a manager of the Marlins, Jeff?
No, that's
like
the one on the left's orange. This ball's well hit to right, and it is over the head. And one hop off the wall. Nick Markakis will throw it in. And Ben Paulson has doubled here in the 7th inning, the first base runner since Brandon Barnes singled in the 2nd.
17th double this season for Ben. Wanted the pitch away. He just went out, reached for it, and hooked it over the head of Markakis in right field. Short hops the wall.
Well, it ended a string of 14 in a row, retired by Shelby Miller. The last time Miller won a game was May 17th against Miami. And many of you probably remember hearing about that game, or perhaps watching the end of it, because he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, the no-hitter was intact, and then Justin Bour broke it up. He settled for a 2-hit shutout. It's the last game he's won. This is on the ground to second. Crossing to third is Paulson with 1 out. That'll bring up Descalso.
It was a clean single by Justin Bour to break up the no-hitter. There was no question about it.
Descalso will walk and a fly ball to center field. This ball line to left, base hit. The Rockies are on the board. It's 3-1. Daniel Descalso with his 20th RBI. You think about how big that out was that Castro got on Maben to keep it a 3-0 game and give the Rockies a feeling like they were still in contact.
And now with this base hit from Daniel, you're only 2 runs down. As well as Shelby Miller has been throwing. You bring the tying run to the plate, Brandon Barnes.
It's like Matt McBride's in the on-deck circle. Miller, an all-star this year for Atlanta. Oh, 2. This ball is in the air to left, and it's in front of Gomes. And the throw to second, not going to get. Brandon Barnes, second and third with 1 out. on the double by Barnes. And now a base hit conceivably ties it up. Brandon Barnes, who is in a real rough slump for about 10 days, has broken out and goes back to the last ball game he played at Coors Field.
Yeah, it threw out some hits to right field, had a broken bat single. But you bring the tying run to the plate. They even made a defensive switch that wasn't announced to us.
That's
in between
Bourne out there not going.
Yeah. Well, Brandon keeps hustling, and then a head-first dive into second base. And now you have second and third, and Matt McBride will pinch hit. They brought Bourne in for defense in the seventh. He did this on Monday night.
Paid off for him on Monday. He threw out a runner at the plate, Charlie Blackmon. Ball one on McBride. Pinch hitting here in the seventh. That's looped to second. 2 outs.
Good base running from Brandon. Natural instinct is, I want to score on this, but he read it off the bat. It did get caught in no man's land. Ball in the air, he freezes like you're taught, gets back to the bag. Textbook.
Charlie Blackmon will get his chance here, riding an 11-game hitting streak, which matches his career best. Rockies with one more hit tonight than the Braves, 7-6. They trail 3-1 here in the seventh. Fly ball to right hit pretty well. A sharp ground ball that turned into a double play and a pop to second. Strike one on Charlie. Descalso at third, Barnes at second.
Good speed both places, so you get a base hit, you can wave Brandon home.
This is a huge chopper. I don't know if they're going to be able to get Blackmon. No way. One run is scored. To third is Barnes on an infield hit for Charlie. It's 3-2.
This must have gone directly off of home plate.
This wasn't a Baltimore chop. It was a Lord Baltimore chop.
It was so high it could have brought rain.
And that's a 12-game hitting streak for Blackmon and his 50th RBI. You're
yes,
right.
It did.
Right off the plate.
Right off the plate, because they water with a guy like Shelby Miller and some of the ground ball pitchers. They water that area in front of home plate to soften it up. And for a ball to go that high, you knew it had to go off the plate. Ooh, almost went by.
Almost went to the backstop. And you know Barnes would have come storming home.
And there's padding on the brick wall behind home plate. So if it hits off that padding, it won't ricochet as hard as it would if it was a brick or just a concrete backstop.
Reyes hold up? No. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're wondering about Bethencourt behind the plate. He's 6 for 16, 38% throwing out base stealers.
Two and one. Often called the action pitch. Charlie not going, and it's 3-1. Definitely wouldn't be going here, you would think.
No, wait till 3-2 if it gets to that.
Cargo's on deck. Barnes doing a little cheerleading at third. Rockies with 2 runs here in the inning. It's 3-2 Atlanta in the 7th. There goes the runner, and this ball's unloaded to right center field, and it is going to land in right center. 2 runs are going to score. Reyes on his way to third. The Rockies have taken a 4-3 lead.
How about that, Jose Reyes?
And it helped out, ultimately, that Blackman was going with the pitch, which surprised us. But a 2-run triple from Reyes, a 4-run 7th against Shelby Miller.
Charlie takes off, ball in the gap, 2 outs, and then Cameron Maybin overran the baseball. Charlie looking, see where it is. Steve Cole's waving him, so come on, let's go.
They're going to pass on Cargo and go right on right with LeMahieu. DJ, when he comes up, will be the 9th man to hit here against Miller, who entered this 7th inning having retired 14 straight, working on a 3-0 shutout in which he'd given up 4 hits, and they came in the first 2 innings. I mean, he couldn't be more dominant when the inning began.
No, and 3 of the 5 hits this inning, though, extra base hits. 2 doubles and a triple, and for Jose, that's his first triple in a Rockies uniform.
But not unfamiliar territory for Jose.
Yeah, over 100 triple.
So LeMahieu 0 for 3 will hit here with 2 outs. And Freddie's going to take the baseball from Shelby Miller. You can see how irritated he is. He had it on cruise control, and now he's gone with a deficit. It's shocking to the Braves fans here. It's shocking to Shelby Miller. It began with Ben Paulson hitting a double over the head of Nick Markakis, first Rocky to reach. since the second inning. And then Barnes had a hit after the base hit by Descalso. The big Baltimore chop by Charlie Blackmon, and then on a 3-1 pitch, a triple from Jose Reyes. And it's 4-3 Atlanta. Miller is gone. And it's now 18 straight games that he will not produce a win. And it certainly didn't look as if that would be his outcome tonight when this inning began. Peter Moreland, who was in the ballgame yesterday, is on to face DJ LeMahieu. First and third. Fargo at first, Reyes at third. Outside on DJ. The triple for Reyes, the 116th of his career. Second among active players to the Dodgers' Carl Crawford, who has 121. And as Jeff mentioned, it's his first in a Rockies uniform. 1-0, 2-0.
Peter Moreland came in last night, an inning, gave up a hit, did have a strikeout. Go ahead, DJ, tack another one on. Rockies tonight are 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Christian Friedrich and Jairo Diaz, the right-hander, now in the bullpen.
Two, 1, and it's 3-1.
All Shelby Miller can do is sit and watch now.
That ball's lined to right. Markakis reaches up and makes the grab. That may have saved 2 runs. Nick Markakis, who's always been a terrific outfielder, just made a sensational play. Side finally retired. What a productive one for the Rockies. They score 4 runs on 5 hits. They lead it 4-3. On 5 hits. They're enjoying a 4-3 lead now in Atlanta, Georgia. Back upstairs with my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. How about that inning against Shelby Miller, who could not have pitched any better in the prior 5 innings.
Yeah, he was just cruising right along, not retiring batter after batter. But then Ben Paulson started it off. He got that slider down and away, kind of reached out for it, and then you manufactured a couple runs. You got lucky with the ball off the plate for an infield single, but then Jose Reyes with the triple.
Big hit from Jose Reyes, but a couple of guys contributing who don't play every day. Brandon Barnes, Daniel Descalso.
And that's all you can hope for. When you get that opportunity to play, you're not playing every day, so you got to make those at-bats count, and these guys did tonight. Descalso with the single to left, Barnesy with a couple hits.
Now it's going to come down to the bullpen. Christian Friedrich, who had a big strikeout yesterday of Freddie Freeman, will face him here. Probably one-hitter situation in the 7th for Friedrich. Johnny Gomes, Adonis Garcia, a couple right-handed bats. Well, actually, you know what? Let me correct that. Michael Bourne, I forgot, had taken the place of Gomes. So Bourne, another left-handed bat. So Christian's on for 2 hitters, you would think.
And maybe you see what he does against Garcia, because after that you have Peterson, the left-handed hitter. So it just depends on how Walt feels and what he's feeling with Christian. Does he let him face the right-handed hitter?
Sure, possibility.
That way you don't have to make one extra move if you don't have to.
Oh, 2. Got him on a slider yesterday, a 3-2 slider.
He struck him out on a slider on the, I think it was a 2-2 pitch, and then Freddie fouled one off and came back with another slider to strike him out.
And when he struck him out in the 7th inning, it was a 3-run game, and the bases were loaded, and he strikes him out again. So Christian Friedrich taking care of Freddie Freeman, leading off in the 7th. 1 out.
And this is what Christian has been able to do against the left-handers. Struggled more against right-handers this year, but the left-handers, the slider in that location is virtually unhittable.
First at bat for Michael Bourne, who was struggling in Cleveland and is really struggling with the bat in his second tour with Atlanta.
4 for 41?
Yeah, that's not good. And even that bunt attempt wasn't real sharp.
It wasn't so sharp. I didn't know which way he was trying to go with it. Was he trying to go to third or pull it with him to first?
Can't help you there. You're the expert.
Well, but that's how bad it was. I couldn't tell what he wanted to do.
Oh, 2 on Bourne with 1 out. Did get a piece of it. Oh, 2 on Bourne. The The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Rockies trying to do some things they haven't done in a long time. 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Trying to win consecutive games in Atlanta for the first time since 2002. If they were to win a series here, just a series, it would be only the 3rd time they've ever won a series in Atlanta.
The last 23 games at Turner Field, the Braves are 18-5.
Eighth pitch upcoming to Bourne. Yet it's 1-2 count. Usually by the 8th pitch, you think it's a 3-2 count.
It's held off 4 pitches.
In the air, shallow center, it'll drop. So just the 5th hit for Bourne with the Braves this year. And that'll bring up Adonis Garcia. See how Walt plays this. And another left-handed bat, Jeff pointed out, behind him. But Walt's
there's nobody on. There's nobody on. He'd let him face Garcia, but now with the runner on, you can go to the bullpen and bring in Diaz.
One out, one on in the 7th. It's a 1-run game. Rockies on top 4-3. Now at Southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. And by Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. More images from the College Football Hall of Fame. You know what that trophy is, Huey?
National Championship trophy?
That goes to the national champions in college football at the FBS level. I was going to say Division 1A because it's still easier for me to say 1A. Jairo Diaz threw yesterday. It's his 3rd appearance since being called to the Rockies. Came from the Angels in the offseason trade for Josh Rutledge. Big arm, throwing strikes at times an issue, and he has the first pitch over to Adonis Garcia. Single home run tonight for Garcia.
That big pitch is electric, 95 to sometimes 100 miles an hour.
One ball, one strike.
Jairo an inning against the Braves, 10 pitches One strikeout last night.
Bourne a threat to run at first, 2-1. Big swing, and it's 2-2.
See what Nick flashes down for signs. Calling for the slider.
And he got him with a slider. Located it well at 90, and that is the second out. I'm going to bring up Jace Peterson.
Asked for a slider, you want it down, and that's where Nick got it. Swung underneath the baseball. Now is when you have to worry about Michael Bourne taking off. You have a left-handed bat, the plate, tougher read for the catcher. That time Michael was only 2 steps off the bag, didn't have a very big lead. This one's bigger now, the lead.
Not going, that's a strike. 1-1.
Real big lead now.
Started to go.
Well, and I say real big lead because a lot of times you can gauge at the cut of the grass. If a guy has his right foot out near the cut, that is a big lead.
Now they check on him.
Starts getting out into that area, then that's when you have to start worrying about him taking off.
That is a base hit just over DJ's glove. And that pushes Bourne, the tying run, to second. With the catcher Christian Bethencourt coming up.
They just flip-flop Bethencourt and Nick Swisher. They just called him back in a hurry. That swing from Peterson. That topspin on it, just too much and too high for DJ, even with the elevation and the hops. Missed that by 4 or 5 inches.
Steve Foster is going to go out and visit with Diaz. Talk about a strategy with the switch hitting Nick Swisher. Swisher started yesterday for Atlanta. Hit the 2 spot, went 0 for 4 and a walk. Pretty significant weekend in Chicago.
You can take a behind-the-scenes tour of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets available year-round. Call 303-ROCKIES. And Swisher hitting .231 from the left side. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs on the season.
took the lead with a 4-run seventh against Shelby Miller. And now it's 2-0 on Swisher. Swisher's a disciplined guy. You've got to swing if you don't throw him a strike.
He doesn't get cheated on the swings.
Miller, by allowing 4 runs, it's the 4th time this year he's allowed 4 in a game. He's never allowed more than that. All have come during this now 18-game winless stretch for him. 2-1. Correct that the first game against the Rockies, Miller allowed 5 runs. That's the only time he's allowed 5 earned runs in a game this year. He allowed 5 in another game, but 1 was unearned. 3-1 now on Swisher. Simmons on deck. A.J. Brzezinski's got a bat. 2 doors down is the pitcher's spot.
He's going to have to come into the game anyway after pinch hitting for Bethencourt.
Yep.
Now you're just going to be careful because Swisher's going to be swinging from his heels trying to hook a ball into the stands.
The fastball misses and now the bases are loaded.
There goes some of the discipline for Nick Swisher. Running fastball. But he didn't fish for it.
Simmons will come up with the bases loaded. Diaz trying to keep the Rockies in front. They're 2 outs. Simmons has walked 3 times tonight. 2 times intentionally. Bourne a single. He's at third. Peterson a single at second. Swisher's at first. Just walked. Diaz spraying the fastball. It's 1-0.
Nobody up before the Rockies. This is Diaz.
These guys have been brought up, Castro and Diaz, because of ineffectiveness, overall fatigue, and other issues in the bullpen. It's not like they're given a soft landing spot. They're right in the middle of the fire in terms of important innings and high leverage innings.
Well, you have to see what you have. I mean, that's what this time of the year is for some of these guys. You know, Diaz has a big arm, but can he harness it? Can he work ahead? Can he come out of the pen and throw strikes?
2-0. That's a strike at 97. Simmons has hit the 240s the last 2 years. 262 coming into the ball game. And it's strike 2 again at 97.
Simmons thought it was inside. It wasn't.
That was a good pitch.
Great pitch.
Bases full of Braves. 2-2 with 2 outs. The Rockies up 4-3 in the 7th. He went slider and he overamped it a little bit. Now it's 3-2.
Now what do you throw? Throw the fastball, challenge him. But you got to strike out with Garcia on the slider. You got to challenge him with the fastball.
It's your best pitch.
It is.
Throw 96, 97, 98. You try to trick him. Throw your second best pitch. Here we go. 3-2 on Simmons. Ground ball is short, and Jose's got to go across the diamond. He does, and the Rockies work out of it. Diaz gets out of the bases-loaded mess, and the Rockies stay in front 4-3. Braves is stranded 11 tonight. I'm guessing that's Jason Cook's family. Good-looking family at the Rockies game recently. Thanks for sending that in. 4-3 Rockies leading in Atlanta. As we go to the top of the 8th inning, Edwin Jackson is now on the hill. Second time he is thrown out of the pen in the series. And he'll throw to A.J. Pierzynski, who takes over for Bethancourt, who was removed for a pinch hitter. 29th appearance for Jackson. First man he'll face is a lefty. He's holding lefties to a 188 average. It'll be Ben Paulson, Nick Hundley, Daniel Descalso.
Prior to joining the Braves, he was 86 and 105 in 316 games in the Major League. So always had a big arm, but it never really translated to consistently winning the Major League level. A.J. Pierzynski now behind the plate. He will bat in the number 9 position. So he'll start off the bottom half of the 8th inning leading off. But first things first, the guy that got it started in last inning, Ben Paulson, hit the double.
One 1-0 on Ben. 4-run 7th inning for the Rockies as they hit around. And Paulson lifts this ball to shallow right. Markakis coming on, but going out to Peterson. He makes the catch. Nice job, Jace Peterson.
He's made some nifty plays tonight, has Peterson.
Talked to Freddie Gonzalez about Peterson. His face lights up. Just a hard-nosed player. He says he plays with a football mentality. Nick Hundley doubled in the first, in the second, 1 for 3. Ooh, you see Justin Verlander, and it's not just tonight. It's 3 outs from his 3rd career no-hitter. He had struggled for a while, was hurt. Last year, so-so year And his last, I don't know what it is, 4 or 5 starts have been very good for Detroit. Obviously, he's having another special night.
And if he does complete the no-hitter, he'd be only the 6th pitcher with at least 3 no-hitters.
And Nick waves at that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. One ball, 2 strikes on Hundley, and this ball's lined right to Simmons.
Playing fantasy baseball, MLB.TV serves up real-time highlights, pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Don't miss a game. MLB.TV Premium.
Descalso, a walk, a fly ball to center field, and a huge RBI single to left. At the Rockies, their first run. Daniel would go on to eventually score on a Baltimore chop by Charlie Blackmon that turned into an infield hit. Maybe the biggest play of this game. This ball's lined to right, and Descalso is going to end up with a double as Markakis couldn't cut it off. So Daniel's been on 3 times tonight. Another good outing for Descalso as a starter.
Yeah, now make it 3 for 9 in his career against Edwin Jackson. He took the single to left field because it was away from him. This time he turns on the fastball inside. All Markakis can do is chase it down. Daniel, you know you have a double once you hit that bag. And again, the bottom part of this lineup, think about what they've done tonight. That's 4 hits and also a walk from Daniel and 6 at bats.
Here's Barnes, and Brandon's had a good night himself. Single and a double and 3 at bats. Scott Oberg is the Rocky pitcher getting loose. His second straight night of work. Yesterday, Scott pitched 2/3 of an inning in the 8th.
Kind of looks like the way that bullpen's shaking out now for Walt. When he has the lead, it's going to be Oberg in the 8th and John Axford in the 9th.
Oberg, in his first year in the big leagues, has displayed a big fastball. He's got in trouble at times giving up the long ball. He's got heavy sink on that fastball.
Nolan's come to the on-deck circle. Even if he doesn't hit, I think it might be a double switch. Put him in for defense the last couple innings. Put the pitcher in Daniels' spot, the 7th spot.
2-2. Good swing by Barnes.
The foul balls now for Brandon are better. Every hitter's going to have their ups and downs. There are times where they just don't feel comfortable at the plate, no matter what you do or who you talk to, the advice you get, and then you get that one hit, and then it turns into two, and now you feel more relaxed, more comfortable when you step in to face that pitcher.
It's amazing. Sometimes it only takes a couple of at-bats to turn things around.
And no rhyme or reason why it does. I mean, you're doing the same thing. You're working hard. You're doing the tee work and the front toss and the soft toss. Everything that you can think of.
Sometimes it comes the day after you felt so bad you couldn't play. That's what happened to Barnes yesterday. He got the one-day stomach ailment. We've all been there.
He said it was fast. He said it came on about 3 hours, started to come on 3 hours before the game, and finally an hour before he said, I just can't go.
Whoa.
Edwin Jackson caught a spike and then spiked that pitch 45 feet. A little maintenance work on the mound.
Two outs, Descalso at second. He doubled against Edwin Jackson. Barnes trying to drive him in, give the Rockies a two-run cushion here in the eighth. This ball clubbed deep left field, way back and gone. How about one better? Two-run home run, Brandon Barnes, his second of the year, and the Rockies lead it 6-3. We're talking about the quality of the foul balls, the seeming comfort at the plate for Barnes, and then he unloads.
And did he ever? From a man yesterday who had to be taken out of the lineup because he wasn't feeling well, to a guy that has 3 hits tonight, including one that went so far that you could just trot coming out of the box.
So it won't be Nolan Arenado. It'll be Kyle Parker pinch hitting.
Go ahead and give a big smile. You deserve it.
One strike pitch to Kyle. And that's in the air to right field pretty deep. Markakis will have a play. He'll make the catch. That ends the inning. With 2 outs, a double by Descalso. And after a lengthy at-bat, Barnes hammers one against Edwin Jackson. And the Rockies now have a 6-3 lead, middle of 8th. Brandon Barnes, 6-3. Colorado, bottom of the 8th inning in Atlanta. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Here's how the next several weeks will play out. Tomorrow's an off day in Pittsburgh. And then the Rockies will take on the very talented Pirates over the weekend. Home to the Diamondbacks. That's a 4-game set because of a rainout earlier in the year. We'll televise the night game on Tuesday. And then the Giants are here for 4. We have all of those. Then it's on to San Diego. That's become a 4-game series. Thursday originally was an off day in Seattle. Rockies will play the Padres because of a rainout in San Diego, of all places. And then on to Seattle to see Robbie Cano and the Mariners and Nelson Cruz again. Przynski will lead it off. And then Nick Markakis and Cameron Maybin against Scott Oberg. A bunt attempt by Przynski, and you say, what? Why? Well, the Rockies have a shift on, so Descalso, the only player on the left side, he was situated basically around shortstop.
And he wouldn't have done that if it had been a 1-run game. But with the 2 extra runs, he knows that he's got to try to get on base somehow.
Right. And he tried it again. And I don't blame him. One of the things that I don't quite understand, and I think this will evolve as teams get used to employing the shift so frequently. Why, if you're going to put a guy on the left side, you put him sometimes in what I would call no man's land, where he'd have no chance to field the bunt, and any sort of sharp hit ball, he has no range because he's only about 90 feet away.
Doesn't make any sense. I think you either got to play him in to honor that bunt or do like the Rockies are doing with Daniel, move him over into the shortstop position.
See, he started in about 15 or 20 feet and then he backpedaled quickly, you know, as if, okay, I'm showing Przynski that I'm somewhat close, but honestly, if Przynski got the bunt down, even though AJ's he's not going to be confused with Usain Bolt, he still wouldn't be able to throw him out.
Not at the angle with which Daniel had to move to go get a ball if it was down on the bunt towards third. But with 2 strikes, it doesn't matter.
So go ahead and bunt again if you want.
Go ahead and bunt and foul. It's okay.
This ball's lifted to left field. Brandon's out there, 1 out. Well, the no-hit bid for Justin Verlander is over, but he wins the game in shutout fashion. He allows 1 hit. Chris Iannetta broke it up with a line double that hit the chalk down the left field line. So Verlander with his 21st complete game, 7th complete game shutout in his career, but falls just short of throwing his 3rd career no-hitter.
Well, this is his first complete game for a few years.
Nick Markakis got a good breaking ball. It came, by the way, at the expense of, obviously, the Angels. We mentioned Chris Iannetta. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Mets may pick up another game on Washington. 2 ninth-inning scores. Washington trailing San Diego at Nationals Park 6-5. The Mets at Philadelphia in the 9th, leading 6-4. Two-strike pitch to Markakis, and he got it. 2 outs. Two outs, and Cameron Maybin will come up.
That's the first strikeout of Markakis in this series.
McKirahan on the left side, and Vizcaino, who is the closer for Atlanta. Cameron tonight a walk, 0 for 3 otherwise. He's hit it on the ground 3 times at Jose Reyes. And this one to Descalso, nice play, and the out at first. Absolutely have a night, Daniel Descalso. I'm sure Arenado's smiling in the dugout after watching that play. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning for Scott Oberg. Rockies up 6-3. There's Nolan. To 3 lead. They have out-hit the Braves tonight 11-8. The Rockies have done all their damage in the last 2 innings. In fact, early on, Shelby Miller was on the ropes in the first and second inning. Rockies couldn't score against him, and then he retired 14 straight. He went to the 7th with a 3-0 lead. The Rockies would get 4 runs against him in the 7th. They tacked on 2 last inning on a 2-run home run by Brandon Barnes against Edwin Jackson. Now with Blackman leading off, he'll see left-hander Andrew McKirahan. And McKirahan goes with a breaking ball and misses. McKirahan was suspended in April for 80 games for a positive test for a banned substance under the Major League Baseball's drug program. Goes slider there for a strike, 1-1.
Originally claimed off of waivers by Atlanta from Miami. Miami had taken him in the Rule 5 draft from the Cubs.
Five-year-old left-hander. Charlie with a Baltimore chop single to drive in a run and extend his hitting streak to 12 games. In his last at bat, I think that turned out to be the biggest swing of the bat in this game. Could certainly make a case for it.
Yep, that and then Jose following it up with the triple. Those two back to back within a span of about a minute.
Right, but that allowed Jose to get to the plate.
That old line, just put the ball in play, good things are going to happen.
You never know, right?
You never know what's going to happen.
So I can ask you what the longest hitting streak in the National League with the 12-gamer. Here's the 2-2. Broken bat roller to first. Freeman's got it, 1 out. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootsSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game. Rockies sitting on 6-3, so you never know tonight. Reyes 2 for 4, the big 2-run triple we were discussing moments ago. Jose in from the right side here against the lefty.
Big John Axford.
Right now, the pitchers of record for the Rockies, Simone Castro. And for the Braves, Shelby Miller. Low. Ball 4, so Cargo will come up with Reyes at first. Kirahan suspended in mid-April, just a couple weeks after Arodys Vizcaíno was suspended for 80 games for a banned substance. Both now working in that Atlanta bullpen. Vizcaíno got the save on Monday night against the Rockies. Cargo tonight, sharp single, couple strikeouts, and then an intentional walk. Reyes takes off. Przinsky's throw on the bag, but Jose beat it.
Jose took off first movement, 4 stolen base in Rockies uniform.
20th on the season, though.
Blake comes up, he takes off. Przinsky throws right on the money, but the tag is on the leg of Jose as he slides into the back portion of the bag.
Good call by second base umpire Larry Vanover.
See that wrist guard on the left hand of Jose. That's to help also with that thumb and the ligament so he doesn't turn that thumb when you grab that bag.
Cargo takes a heater inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. This ball up the middle, but it's cut off by Peterson, and he's going to throw out Cargo. Reyes to third. That'll bring up DJ, who's been robbed twice of a hit. Once by Maben in center field. And last time up, a high line drive to deep right field that Markakis made a leaping grab on. And they're not going to face DJ. They're going to walk him and go left on left with Ben Paulson.
And I'll make it even. Both teams have had 2 intentional walks. To Cargo in the 7th, and now DJ in the 9th. Both of the intentional walks for the Braves were Hamilton Simmons.
By the way, I asked DJ earlier, I said, if you ever, at any level, hit cleanup, and he smiled, and he said, no, I don't think so.
Well, Walt told him that he was going to get him a chance to hit cleanup because he knew that he had started at every other position in the lineup. He just didn't know when he was going to be able to do it. But tonight it worked out with Nolan having the night off.
There's a handful of guys that have hit in that cleanup spot this year that have hit in all the other spots in the lineup. So Paulson will come up with 2 on and 2 outs. Now, had he gotten a hit, DJ would have joined these 4 players who've hit in every spot in the lineup and gotten a hit in every spot. David DeJesus, David Murphy, Yangervis Solarte, Preston Tucker. And you notice that 3 of the 4 are in the American League.
DJ was hoping he'd get a chance. He's the only regular in the lineup tonight without a hit.
Well, he's hit the ball hard, as we were chatting about a couple of times tonight.
He had that sliding diving catch by Cameron Maben in center. Also lined out in the running grab by Nick Markakis in right.
One and 2. And a foul tip is held. That'll end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. John Axford will be aboard. The Rockies leading Atlanta 6-3. At least the Rockies' outstanding crew that takes care of the field, their grounds crew led by Mark Razum, learn everything about what Spilly learned in his day of work. He did show us the blisters he had on his
gloves.
Yes.
Is what he learned.
Exactly. That's Friday after the game on Rockies Real Time. So here we go in the 9th inning. John Axford, who had a 1-2-3 9th inning yesterday, will face Freddie Freeman, Michael Bourne, and Adonis Garcia.
It wasn't a save situation for John last night, but it had that feel. You had the 5-1 lead, needed to lock it down, and he did. John looking for his 18th save this season. He wants to do it for that 18th save, but he also wants to do it for Simon Castro's in line for his first Major League victory.
Freeman tonight 0 for 3 and a walk. He has scuffled since returning from his latest DL stint. for 3 lifetime against John Axford. The Rockies employ the shift against Freeman. And the first pitch inside, ball 1.
I was going to say, it didn't look like it missed by much, and it didn't. It caught a piece of the 4th strike zone.
That's a strike. It's inside.
If he's going to get on, make him earn it.
At the knees, 3-2.
Freddie taking the whole way.
A base hit to left.
First hit for Freddie Freeman in this series. Well, he did earn it with the base hit. Inside out. Slicer to left.
Bourne, since coming in the ball game, his second at bat, he had a bloop single to center his first time, and he takes ball 1. He's a leadoff type guy. You have to throw him strikes. He will not expand. He understands his role here is to get on and bring the tying run to the plate. Freeman a conservative lead at first. Here's the 1-0.
That's been Michael his whole career. Always taking a lot of pitches, fouled off, tried to foul off tough pitches.
You have to know who you are.
Michael does.
One, two. Whoa, good pickup. I don't know how he did it.
I wonder now Nick even got to this baseball. Spike, slider, curveball. You had to worry about the batter moving his feet, and then you're sliding over and guessing where it's going to go. Nick guessed right. All popped into the glove.
2-2 on Michael Bourne. And that's fouled off. Bourne came up with Houston, which was quite a story for him because he grew up in Houston, went to the University of Houston as a scholarship baseball player, played on the same Little League team as Carl Crawford. Think they were pretty good?
About that 1-2 punch at the top of the lineup. They might have hit second or third or fourth, though. Either way, it's a good team.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Another 2-2. And he got him. Axford strikes out Bourne. 1 out in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Adonis Garcia. Big strikeout. Bourne gets on. This kid walking to the plate's got a lot of power.
Remember a couple pitches ago when he spiked the curveball at 55 feet? Nick had to slide over and catch it. Went back to it, but a better pitch and a better location this time to get Bourne to strike out.
Garcia 3 for 4 tonight. 2 singles and a home run. The baseball gods took it easy on him. I don't think he's had a play tonight on defense after committing 3 errors last night.
He hasn't. But Freddie had the confidence to put him back out there.
It's why you have to remain even keel in this game. Yesterday, I'm sure he wanted to crawl underneath his bed, and tonight, a couple singles, a home run. Feeling a whole lot better about himself, other than the fact that his club is down by 3 runs and he's in a ditch right now, 0-2.
Go ahead and hit it on the ground. Double play in this thing.
Crowd of more than 18,000 tonight, so about a 5,000 fan increase from what we saw the first 2 ball games.
Well, a lot of them left after the 7th that they didn't. Most of them then after the 8th. And the Rockies scored 4 and then 2.
You know, with the Braves moving out to Marietta and suburbia, I'm trying to think how many major league teams are in a suburban area. Most are in a downtown location. You know, the Rangers out in Arlington, you could make that case.
They did that to split the difference between Dallas and Fort Worth.
0-2 outside. You know, the Angels play in Anaheim, but that's such a highly populated area in Orange County where you used to play. It's fouled up. Milwaukee's not right downtown, but it's within a couple of miles of downtown.
Going through all the cities. I think the rest of them, are, you're right, are in a major city or have it close enough to be considered part of that city.
Now in football, because football's more event oriented, there's only 8 home days, not counting those preseason games, the pretend games. You'll see some of those certainly in suburban areas. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Garcia.
Maybe Kansas City.
Yep.
Just because they built those 2 parks so they could use a common parking lot.
I don't even know if that's suburbia. It's on the side of I-70. 2-2. Ground ball to short. There's one on to first, not in time.
Not hit hard enough and too far away from Jose.
2 outs, though, in the 9th, and Jace Peterson will come up.
That's what Jose is telling DJ right now. I was just too far away, and then I had to wait for the extra bounce. Strong throw. Garcia, with his swing, allowed him to get an extra step out of the box because he was reaching for the curveball.
Peterson takes a pitch off the plate at 97, ball one. Rockies, with the victory last night, produced their 50th win of the season. Last team in the big leagues to get their 50th. Trying to get number 51. 2-0. Right there. Rockies' next opponent, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They won in Miami tonight 7-2. Andrew McCutchen hit his 20th of the year. Three and one.
Pirates have one more in Miami, so the Rockies will enjoy an off day at Pittsburgh while Pittsburgh's playing.
Pirates now 27 games above 500, 76-49. 3-1 on Jace Peterson. Garcia is first. And 3-2.
The infielders reminding each other, 3-2, 2 outs. Got to throw it all the way across. Run will be taken off. A little shift going on. Jose and Daniel.
3-2. And this is a fly ball to center. Charlie's going to have to field it on high. And that's going to bring the tying run to the plate.
Peterson 3 for 3 now.
Remember, he was 0 for 18 at one point.
Yeah, he had the 2 bunts, the 2 sack bunts.
The pinch hitter Pedro Siriaco.
Pedro hit 313 pinch hitting, 5 RBIs, 3 doubles.
Year, 1 home run. I'm sure that's on everybody's mind, with Siriaco representing the tying run. 2 outs, 2 on. Rockies up 6-3. And nothing typically ever easy in the 9th inning, especially the way things have gone for the Rockies this year. First pitch strike to Siriaco.
Many times you'll see a pinch hitter come off the bench and just take the first fastball that he sees. Siriaco did.
And he swings through a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So 1 strike away for Axford.
Very tardy on that fastball.
Here's the 0-2. And he got him on 3 pitches. John Axford closes it out, and the Rockies win it 6-3. Just the 3rd time they've ever won a series in Atlanta, Georgia, and they win consecutive games for the first time since 2002. So a lot accomplished over 72 hours here in Atlanta. The Rockies come from behind. They beat Shelby Miller tonight, and the win goes to Simone Castro, his first big league win. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, the much maligned Rockies bullpen. 4 shutout innings And again, it started with Castro.